Hey everyone, it's Peter Kerr from Daydream Nation, and today I've got a very special guest, the legendary John Gallagher from Raven. How are you, John?
I'm doing good, Peter. Thanks for having me. Great.
Absolutely. John and Raven will be touring Australia for a run of East Coast dates. I believe November the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So I thought it would be opportune to get John on the show to shoot the breeze about Raven and just tell us about what's happening in the world of the band. So, what can Australian audiences expect at this particular run of shows in November?
Uh, a lot of racket and a lot of running around, and we're the kind of band that it's like a three-ring circus. You've got the three of us going off. We connect with the audience. The audience is a huge part of what we do. And unlike a great many bands these days, unfortunately, we grew up with bands with entertainers like Bon Scott and Alex Harvey and the Deep Purples and the Led Zeppelins and the Black Sabbaths, all that stuff. And these people, they came from a background and their generation, yet you had to go out there and put on a show. You didn't just stand there, make a noise and look at your feet. We don't do that. You know, we have an awful lot of fun on stage, and I think it's infectious. It kind of, the energy goes out, it comes back, and at the end of the day, we all having a great night out. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Is it hard to choose a song list before you go on tour? Because you guys have got 14 albums. Is it really tough to whittle down a selection of songs before you go on tour?
Yeah, you've kind of got your three categories. You've got your small number of songs which you're probably always going to play. So, for us, it's things like Hell Patrol, Rock Until You Drop, maybe On and On, stuff like that. Nothing's 100% sacred because at one point or another, they've all been cut out either due to us just wanting to do something different or time constraints. But there's those, the crown jewels. And then you've got stuff like, say, new songs. Okay, promoting a new album, you want to have your three, maybe four tops new songs, you know? And then after that, it's a little bit more up for grabs, where we'll say, well, we've got this pool of songs here, and maybe we'll mix them up from night to night, or, you know, maybe just for the tour, we'll turn around. Because the funny thing is with this band, since Mike joined back in 2017, we've never rehearsed.
Right.
Not long. We've never rehearsed. Uh, Basically, it's a case of like, Mike, do you fancy doing this song? Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, here's here's the song. Maybe one of us will even do a scratch track so you can play along rather than listen to the drums. You can just hear the music part, come up with his own things. Says, what do you think of this? This sounds great. And that's what we did for the tour we've been doing. We've been playing Inquisitor, which is a more obscure song off like the sessions for the first album. And he did his take on it, and we've been having fun playing that since it's the band's 50th anniversary. So we
Yes.
said, okay, here's one of the first songs we ever wrote, one of the first we ever recorded, and boom, there you go. And
Yeah.
we've done that over the last 7 years quite often. Like, pick a song at random, let's do it.
All right. Well, I guess we've got to talk about this 1986. Now, I'll give you a bit of a warning. I like this album, but this was my entry point to you because of my age. And it was, I bought it in 1986 and I wasn't really aware of the back catalogue of Raven. So sometimes entry points into bands are hard to give up. And I actually did a show on this channel defending The Pack is Back. So, but I'm fascinated by this album because to me, it doesn't sound like Raven. It sounds like a completely different band. You could call it another name.
I think a lot of the reasoning for that, one of the main reasons for that is that Rob insisted on playing to a click track. I
Right.
want to play to a click track. I don't want to be put off by Mark playing guitar. And, with the benefit of age and hindsight, the greatest thing about the band is the push and pull tempo wise between, especially back then, between Rob, who would play slightly behind the beat, and Mark would play slightly in front of the beat.
Yeah.
And they would be playing this game of catch up all the time, incrementally, but it give a sense of energy and danger and urgency, and that's completely void. And it only works on Rock Dogs and The Pack is Back, where they're slower, boom, boom, where you want it regimented, you want it through, and it works fine. The the fast, or at least the medium pace stuff, tends to drag on this because of that. Nightmare Rides is okay, but again, we had a version of it that was great, and Eddie and Rob wanted to change the pre-chorus so it's a little more commercial, which isn't bad by any means. So I listen to it, and some of the songs are good, some of the songs not so good, some of the lyrics are very cheesy to me, but
Mm.
it showed that we have a lot of craft, but craft is not creativity or
Yeah.
lightning in a bottle. Craft is, I built this wall exactly, and all the bricks are perfect. It's
Yeah.
not the artwork that went on the bricks afterwards by any means. And it was a long, painful process. We were in for about a month doing pre-production, about 6 weeks recording, and about 6 weeks mixing.
That's a long time in
And,
Raven speak, isn't
and
it?
oh yeah, I mean, and it was like we learned a lot of things. One of the things we learned is we'll never take that long to do a record ever again because
Yeah.
it's like annoying. It's crazy,
Yeah.
and you're getting things meticulously correct, and that's not what it's about. It's not being perfect. It's having the danger, having the is it all going to fall apart at any minute, or where did that come from? And the occasional squeaky noise where it's not supposed to be. And this was the record that taught us that after the fact. And the other thing that was really annoying about it is there was all this push, don't do this and do some extra tracks of clean guitar, so that, afterwards they could pull them up in the mix and make it sound a little more jingle jangle.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the record company wouldn't give us money to do a video.
That's ridiculous. I can't work that out. Why didn't they give you money to do
We
a video?
we went to NFL Films, who had just done stuff with Gary Moore. They were the
Yes.
ones to pioneer having the camera on the guitar.
Mm.
Oh, we're going to do this thing where we'll throw the guitar up and we'll do this and we'll do this and
Yeah.
do that and the other. No, sorry, we don't have the budget, not doing it.
So was all the budget thrown into the recording? Because it sounds like there's everything but the kitchen sink. A lot of double tracking and state of the art sound. Did they just throw the budget into the recording and nothing left?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of
Mm.
crazy. And it was crazy as well because you got a band like us that was, the live thing is very prevalent. And you get a
Yep.
producer like Eddie Kramer, whose thing is the live thing very much. Zeppelin,
Mm.
Kiss, Hendrix. And it's like, yeah, now go do a Def Leppard record. It's like, what? So looking back at it, it's all very, you know,
Yeah.
you're a plumber. Great. We're going to have you do woodwork now.
So the Eddie Kramer experience wasn't the experience you were expecting on this album.
Uh, a lot of this is our naivety. I mean, we
Mm.
had no problem with being commercial per se, because it is a large part of what we do and always has been and always will be. but it's not, when it's too much of what we do, then you end up with a different animal.
Yeah.
It's got to be tempered with that chaos and the crazy factor. So you got the songwriting, which is on the logical side, and then you got the craziness. You got to balance these things out, and
Yeah.
that's the recipe for our particular cake. And again, hindsight, looking back, going, yeah, too much emphasis was put on this, to the point where Mike, our drummer now, is like, I'd love to redo some of those songs just for the
Well,
hell of it.
that
And
was a
it,
question I
and
was
and
going to
we
raise with
probably
you.
will. We probably will at some point.
So you might do the Packers back rebooted. I'd
Yeah,
love to
that
hear
might be
that.
that might be fun to do. That might be fun to do. At this point, we're so far away from it. Whatever you do, it's going to be totally different, and
Yeah.
it should be. It should be. What is the point of there's a lot of bands of, we're going to re-record. I think Journey redid Escape and Frontiers, and they're indistinguishable almost from the originals.
Mm,
They
this would
they
be
did
different.
that for the royalties. So it sounds
Mm,
the same. They
yeah.
they get the performance rights on that. At our
Mm.
point, we'd do it and we'd make it different.
No, I'd definitely pay to get that record.
And that's great because what you've done stands as itself, and then you do a different version because
Mm,
the music should always be a living thing. It's like when you play these songs live, we play them live. They're very different in many ways from the way they were originally played, but they
mm,
still holds the template and the spirits of what they're supposed to be.
yeah.
And that's what playing live's all about, putting that little bit of improvisation and keeping it fresh. You're not just, I'm going to dole out the same guitar solo I've been playing for 42 years, something like that. That does nobody any good, I think.
Is there, like with the Packers back, is do you think there is a good album somewhere? Like, were there like demos, or was there like outtakes where it's all stripped back and a different sounding album somewhere in the vault?
It just feels different, I think. There was a couple of songs that were just miserably, horribly commercial and awful and
Mm,
horrible. And it was just like, no, we're not going there. That was a bridge too far.
yeah,
Bit too silly. There's the one that's like a silly rock and roll thing, which is just nasty.
yeah,
It's like, no, but again, we always wrote a lot of songs and then
yeah,
whittled it down to the ones we wanted. Uh,
absolutely.
so it'd be interesting to revisit some of that stuff, I think. But and we did play some of it live. We played the Packers Back live, which was cool. We did Youngblood, which was great. It
Did
was
you
a
ever
lot
do
of fun.
Hyperactive? That's one of my favorite songs. I
Never
don't know.
played Hyperactive live. No,
Yeah,
that's an interesting song. Yeah.
yeah, with the
Then there was
horn
all this
section,
talk
that
of,
kind of works a little bit for me. I don't know.
I mean, it's lots of bands did the same thing we did. I mean, stylistically and career track, it's
Mm,
Turbo by Judas Priest all the way.
mm,
Even down to the same damn guitar synthesizer sound on "Give Me Some Love" and Turbo. It's exactly the same sound.
yep.
Oh, that sounds great. And it's like 1967. Hey, I got a wah wah. Everyone had a wah wah.